It is August 23rd, 2021, 5 years after I started this garden. And some of these things are starting to mature and they're starting to look really good. This is my garden from over here to over there. This is a corner lot, so it goes this way. This is a wildflower, hummingbird, and butterfly garden. I tried to use natives and adapted, and man, I'm really happy with the look. I think next year it's going to be better. It's still maturing in some cases, but this is really sharp. Let's check it out. So this is the hell strip in the front yard. This hell strip is really hardy plants. I watered these the first year just to get them started, and I haven't put any water on this garden in 2 years. This is Mexican bush sage here, and this is Mexican mint marigold there. Those are fall bloomers, so as this goes out, these will be coming in. This is a Mexican oregano here. I've moved 2 of them, but this one's just getting swallowed up. I'm going to move it and just let the Pride of Barbados take over. This is just so beautiful. It's most everyone's favorite. Such a nice, you can see the ones that are coming out here. See the other ones that are in bloom. I mean, so many pollinators visit this bed right here. I didn't really want to make it the most hummingbird friendly bed because I don't want the hummingbirds and butterflies this close to the street. The speed limit's 25, but you know how that goes. I don't want them getting hit. So most of the hummingbird garden is over here. But I did want to hide this guy. I've got a swale in my front yard, and this is for drainage, and so I'm really trying to hide it, and this is what I'm using to kind of just draw people's attention away from it, hide it in plain sight. So I think this is going to look nice. This will be the second year for these guys. I might get a bloom out of these guys this year, and this is going to be the second year for these guys. Third year for these guys, actually. I'm definitely going to get a bloom out of these. They're going to look really nice this year, right here. The Esperanzas, gosh, I have hit and miss luck with this flower. This is supposed to be so easy. I'm convinced there's different cultivars, and some of them flower and some of them just grow tall. So this year I am bound to determine I'm going to take 12 cuttings of the ones that flower, and I'm going to plant the ones that flower. Look, there's one here. This guy was 12 feet tall until a couple days ago. I cut him back, and look at this guy. Not tons of flowers, no flowers. There's 3 of them over here. There's 3 of them right here. 2 of these 3 are flowering. One of them not. You can see all the way around. This nice big one's flowering. This one right here is flowering. This one up front has a couple flowers on it, but I just can't get these to flower. This one, I think there must have been some sort of there was a chase or something came through here, because this was just mauled over one day. Maybe a deer went this way or came, or I don't know what happened, but it broke off, and yeah, it might make it, might not. But this is the little hell strip garden. Very hardy. Esperanza, Mexican bush sage, Pride of Barbados, Mexican mint marigold, and Mexican oregano. The Mexican mint marigold looks so formal. I like it because it looks formal. I don't touch it. I don't trim it at all. And it just kind of grows into a globe. There's one here that's kind of stunted, but you can see this one here just kind of grows into a globe. The one behind it just kind of grows into a globe. Might expand those over here a little bit, but right now they're second year and they haven't even flowered yet. So let's see how that works out. Great thing is I give that garden no care. So when my kids get dropped off, they get dropped off right here, school bus. And I watched them for a year, just kind of how they walk through the property, and this was the natural path they took. I kind of made a bend in it so they have to walk through the garden, but that's a nice little pathway and greeting for the kiddos. You know, I had to feature my favorite plant in my garden. This is by far my favorite plant. It's a leucanthum, a Texas sage. These are 2 different varieties. This is an El Dorado, which is very silver. And this is a Silverado, which is not as silver. You can even see that the leaves are a little bit different. If you look closely, the leaves on those guys are different. So this is my favorite Texas sage right here. I just really like the silver look. It's almost white. I mean, it's really quite nice. This plant needs 6 inches of water a year to survive. And in Austin, we get about 30. This year, we'll probably end up getting like 36, 37. It's been kind of a rainy year. And I mean, I haven't had to do anything out here for these guys. Just love it. So these 4 are Eldorados, and then the one Silverado. I planted a whole bunch of Texas sages here in different spots because I just wanted to get a feel for which variety I liked the best before I really planted a whole bunch of them. So I've got I've got 3 more of these I want to plant. One over there, a couple over there. But yeah, that's got to be my favorite plant. And it produces flowers like this. Those ones are young ones, so they just haven't produced many flowers like this. But the pink, which is not my favorite color, but against the silver like that of the silver sage, man, it just looks awesome. This is a canyon sage, Salvia microphylla. You can see the majority of them will have red and white on them. This one gets quite a bit of shade now. When I first planted it here, I thought it was going to die because it got so much sun. But this oak tree is really taking off. I put coffee grounds under the oak tree every year and just let the leaves decompose. I don't move the leaves, and it does really well. It's really shaded this thing in like 2 years. It's grown 4 feet, more than that even. And it's really shaded this plant here. So, but I really like this look of the canyon sage. And this is kind of a canyon environment. When you look at the tall trees over here, canyon, tall trees over here, it's almost like a canyon environment. So they get this morning sun. You can kind of see the morning sun streaking through, and they get to turn on, which is great. Then they get shade and they relax a little bit, and then they get more sun as the canyon opens up, or as it comes over the canyon. This again is a canyon sage. It's usually in bloom right now, but yeah, it's just turned off right now. It's in an off cycle. This is a mountain laurel. Love this plant right here. And chives. So there are chives in random places on my property, and people always ask me, like, why are there chives here? When I first moved here, there were deer that slept in my yard, and I was trying to find out a natural solution to get them to move. They hate chives. So I planted a bunch of chives by seed, and once they got to be 1 gallon plants, wherever the deer were sleeping, I would just go plant a couple of chives. This is one chive plant left that just keeps growing. It's pretty awesome. And so wherever there's random chives, that's where there was a deer bed. And I planted chives, and then literally the next day they were gone. They won't touch it. They won't rip it out of the ground, not even the youngsters. So that's how I moved them off my property. Everywhere they went to sleep, I just made it uncomfortable for them to be there. So this is kind of the look, canyon look right through here. Most of those are canyon plants. This is an Argentinian plant. This is here simply for smell. This kind of greets people as they walk in. It is a sweet almond verbena, and right now, I don't think there's a single flower on it that I can see right now, but it can be sheared. As you can see, I shear it back here to give enough space for people to walk in. But also, I've created a corridor right here. So I'm going to line it a little bit better. I am going to outline this with Austin white limestone right here. So it'll kind of look like a path a little bit more back up in there. And as people walk in, they're kind of greeted with another garden over there. Yeah. So this is something I've been working on for a long time. And that's this. These 2 oak trees were planted way too close together. It looks like I've trimmed them all up and everything, but really, in reality, what I've done is take out the dead wood in most cases. They've kind of grown together like this, and it's grown into what is kind of like a nice office, believe it or not. I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I work under here all the time. It is kind of difficult during August, admittedly. Even in the shade, it's 95 degrees, but It's just beautiful. So there's the bench, and I really like it. A lot of work. A lot of work keeping up with this. Check that out. Matter of fact, let's see if I can't take a picture of that. It's awesome. Really nice. And so this is my office view a lot of times. Sit here, the front door's right there. Neighbors over there. There's a neighbor right now, actually, walking her dog. That's my view. Pretty screened. Even as the neighbor was walking her dog, you can't hardly see her. Pretty screened environment.